Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're still watching The Breakfast Show. And now we're going to watch a feature about Shari al-Mu'izz or al-Mu'izz Street, which is one of the Cairo's oldest streets, as it dates back to the foundation of the city of the Fatimid dynasty in the 10th century under the 4th Caliph al-Mu'izz li-Dinillah. So let's watch.
Al-Mu'izz Street is named after Al-Mu'izz Dinillah, the Fatimid Caliph. It's 1 kilometer long pedestrian street, and to quote the UN, it has the greatest concentration of the medieval architectural treasures in the Islamic world. It is definite must-see to get a true feel for the history of Cairo as a city, and to see some frankly mind-blowing medieval Islamic architecture and art. Al-Mu'izz Street is found in an area of Cairo known officially as Historic Cairo. Cairo was officially founded in 969 AD by the Fatimids. The modern-day area of Old Cairo consists of the remains of the pre-Cairo cities, Al-Fustat, Al-Askar, Al-Qatiyya, as well as the Coptic Cairo and Islamic Cairo. Mu'izz Street is named after the 4th Caliph, the Fatimid dynasty. Mu'izz Street is a mix of medieval mosques and buildings alongside with the modern vendors and shops in an old Cairo neighborhood called Gamaliya, and the street is adjacent to the world-famous bazaar Khan al-Khalili. The street also starts at the northern Bab al-Futuh, one of the original gates to the old walled city, then meanders south for a bit until it intersects with Al-Azhar Street. And cross Al-Azhar, Al-Mu'izz continues through Al-Ghuriyya complex, ending at Bab Zuwayla and the tent makers market in the south.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and to shed more light on the history of Al-Mu'izz Street, we are delighted to have with us over the phone Mr. Hazem Hasan. He is a tourism expert. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us today on Nile TV. I would like you to tell me more about the history of the Fatimid and the empire of Fatimid, and how did they choose to come to North Africa?
Of course, when we speak about the Fatimids,
Yes.
they came originally from North Africa.
Yeah.
And they were the founder of the Shiite religious group in Egypt.
Okay.
And as we all know, they came to Egypt by the second half of the 10th century AD, and they built Cairo. Of course, we know that Gawhar al-Saqili, he was the general of the Fatimid Caliph, Al-Mu'izz li-Dinillah al-Fatimi, and he came to Egypt just before, and he built Cairo in 969 AD, and he built, of course, Al-Azhar Mosque, that was built especially to, specifically to spread the Shiism in Egypt.
Okay.
So from the day one, Al-Azhar was a university, was a place to study in the 10th, from the 10th century AD. Of course, as a construction of a city, the main avenue, the main axis of this city of Cairo was, of course, the Mu'izz Street we know today. Of course, from the Fatimid period, we can see the mosque like the Mosque of Al-Hakim bi-Amrillah. Also, we can see some other mosques from different periods, such as the Mamluks. Of course, the beautiful complex that was built by Mansur Qalawun, was the founder of a dynasty of the Mamluks. We can find also wonderful mosques, other mosques, and there is Hammam, famous bath from the time of Sultan Inal. We see that there were sabil, fountains to give water for free for the passers-by. So this is a very living street, and it is very important with its beautiful minarets and mosques, and we see the work in stone that is everywhere in this street. Of
Yes.
course, still until today, it's a very important touristic place, especially after the renovations and restorations that were made on the street itself, either the street itself or also on the constructions, the buildings themselves. And we see that wonderful work that was made to pave the ground, the floor of this street with black granite, both from Aswan. So we see that the restoration process was perfect because it was made in a way to keep the style and the architecture. We didn't feel at all that it was made in a way that became the street became modern or something. No. They kept really the style of architecture.
Yeah.
And when we visit it during the day or in the evenings, we enjoy really the visit.
Yes.
And we enjoy really every detail, either in the architecture or in the ambiance itself, while you cross the street or you walk over the street.
Okay, Mr. Hazem, back to the Fatimid. What was the most notable achievements they did in Cairo?
The Fatimids, of course, they created this main capital city after Al-Fustat that was built in the 7th century by Amr ibn al-As, the great general who brought Islam to Egypt, and after Qatar that was built by Ahmad ibn Tulun. So this was the 3rd capital city of Egypt in this period in the 10th century, and we see that it became very important, very famous with its walls, surrounding walls that were built at that time, made of mud bricks with the big and famous gates of Egypt, like Bab al-Futuh, Bab al-Nasr, Bab Zuwayla, and so on. So we counted more than 12 gates to Cairo. The most important ones actually were the ones on the two sides of the main street. We're talking about the Bab al-Futuh that was built so that the Sultan or the Caliph goes out of it to make the conquest, and the other one next to it, a little bit further, was Bab al-Nasr. So this is the gate of victory, so that he could come back. And Bab Zuwayla, of course, was one of the main gates of Egypt to the south of the street. So afterwards, of course, in the time of the Ayyubids, it was rebuilt using stone on the original wall that was built with mud bricks.
Mr. Hazem, I would like you to tell me more about Al-Mu'izz and his political career.
Okay, as a history for Al-Mu'izz, when he came to Egypt, of course, he came with the Shiism in Egypt, and of course the Egyptians were mostly Sunni. He came in Ramadan, and he came to Egypt after in the evening. So he was received with people coming out of their homes holding lamps, and that's why it's famous with Fanus Ramadan. This was one of the reasons. And of course, when he came to Egypt, he said that he was one from the descendants of the Prophet. So when people started to doubt about it, he showed them his sword and his boxes filled with gold. And he said, if you think that it's not, I'm not credible in what I'm saying, look, this is what I have. What do you think? So the Egyptians said, okay. And he started to stay in Cairo, and he created from Cairo the capital of the Fatimid Caliphate. And of course, when we speak about him, he started to spread the Shiism in Egypt.
Yes.
And he made a lot of habits, and the Fatimids invented in Egypt some desserts such as atayef and kunafa. So
Yeah.
it's related really to the Fatimids period.
So all the Ramadan history is is in Al-Mu'izz.
Exactly, exactly. So the Fatimids told the Egyptians a lot of
was
things,
original from Al-Mu'izz.
and
Yeah.
this is mainly, of course, one additional thing.
Yes.
Egyptians didn't use to celebrate Al-Mulad al-Nabawi,
Yeah.
the Prophet's birthday. From the time of the Fatimids, the Egyptians started to celebrate it. Of course, we see that in Egypt, and especially in Cairo, we have a lot of places of some of the family of the Prophet. You see, a lot of places to be visited by the Shiites. And we see, of course, one of the most important Shiites who came to Egypt, we are talking about the Bukhara. And we know that this group, they said that they were the descendants of the first imam who preached the Shiism in Al-Azhar Mosque, and at the time of Saladin, Salahuddin al-Ayyubi, he rejected them out of Egypt. So they traveled to India, and they worked in commerce and trade, and they made a lot of fortunes, a lot of money. So they came back to Egypt so that they could restore and renovate with their money a lot of Fatimid and Shiite sites in Cairo and all over Egypt. So they came and they participated, and they financed a lot of projects such as Al-Azhar Park, such as Al-Hakim Mosque, in the renovations and restorations, of course, Al-Azhar Mosque. Their contribution in the restoration and renovation in this site are very important. That's why the chief was decorated by the President Sisi a few years ago to thank them for their contribution in the salvage of our important and historical sites, especially, of course, there. And Azhar Park, of course, is one of the important things that they made, and it's a way from their side to express their acknowledgement to the place and to put in value the place where Jacques al-Khalili, who was one of the Mamluks, he threw on the area of the Azhar Park now the bones of the Fatimid caliphs because he profanated the tombs.
Yes.
So, of course, in honor to their ancestors, of course, they created the Azhar Park on the hills that were originally called Timan al-Qahira, because it was the place where they used to throw their garbage. Okay, so
Mr.
they
Hazem,
transformed it into a beautiful park, as you know.
Mr. Hazem Hasan, tourism expert, thank you very much for talking to us today on Nile TV. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our breakfast show today. Thanks for watching, and please stay tuned on more to come on Nile TV International.